Yugi peoples and fellow members of My Hero Academia, welcome to the Player Spotlight. All right, so on this spotlight, we're gonna be doing like a 8-year old deck profile that I did way back in 2013. Now, this deck profile takes place like quite some time after I had kind of quit from the game because Nationals of 2012 was like a really, really, really bad, horrible experience for me. So, yeah. And the reason why I did this, I did this now, is because like a lot of people, been talking about the Time Wizard format, Edison format. So I was thinking about what I used to play back then, and I was like real big on Hero Beat. That was the deck that I loved and played. And there was another deck coming up at this time called Bubble Beat. And I wasn't a big fan of Bubble Beat, and I finally played it in a regional, and I did really, really good with it. My only loss was really to another hero player that super polyed me. But other than that, the deck performed well. My matches went fast. I ain't never had matches, that went 10, 15 minutes and it was over, every duel. And, I could see why they call it, YOLO Heroes, because it's basically you go all in and hope for the best. But it was a lot of fun playing the deck, and unfortunately, it was the last regional that I would get to play heroes in at that time because shortly after that, Stratos ended up just getting banned. He went from one to just being out of there. It was just like, just get him out of here. So, yeah, and Nationals of 2012, the reason why it was such a bad experience for me is because it was the only, I want to say it was probably like one of the only nationals that I didn't make day two in. And it wasn't because I was outplayed, or I wouldn't even say it was because I drew bad hands, or it wasn't because my opponents were better than me. It was because of Wind Up Hunter. My first two rounds were basically like Wind Up Hunter, hand loop. And that was it. I couldn't do anything. I didn't even get to play. I came all the way up here to Ohio and didn't even really get to play in nationals because this BS deck, just took away my whole hand because I didn't draw a hand trap in order to be able to play the game. In which, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually kind of like that right now, where it's just like, hey, if I didn't draw this hand trap, then I'm just like basically locked out of playing the game. But at least now you also have going second cards like Droplet and Dark Ruler and stuff that make it easier to where even if you didn't draw a hand trap, you can still, maybe have a chance to play if you drew them. But, we didn't have those at the end. But I guess, like, if there was a hand loop deck now, it wouldn't really matter because, going second card, you ain't got no hand, so you don't get to play it. So that's basically what happened to me at this Nationals. And it sucks because, I was with my boys, Team Kabusaws, and, Evan, I mean, not Evan, but Dustin and Chris Holmes and Kelly Jenkins and Joey Lynch. We had all traveled out there together. It was cool. The day before the tournament, we played in some local tournament that they had, and it was supposed to be cash, but they couldn't give out cash for some reason. So they ended up giving us Best Buy gift cards. And I remember making it into top four. And one of the other top four players was playing Final Countdown. And we were like, can we just all split it? Because don't nobody want to play against him. Don't nobody want to play and lose to, Final Countdown. And we had already been there. It was late. We got Nationals the next day. Let's just go ahead and split it and go. So I got my Best Buy gift card. I ended up selling it for like $10 less than what was supposed to be on it and stuff, which I hope that dude actually got the amount that was on it. I don't know if he actually checked it or whatever and stuff, but he bought it. So I sold it, going into nationals and stuff, there were people, this wind up player wanted to pay me for $30. I paid him for $30. Now I went first and I'm playing skill drain, hero beat and stuff. So, I skill drained them, locked them out, and it was cool, I was like, all right, bet this is about to be fun. I think when I was putting my back together, I played against a what is his name? I played against a Shonen Jump champion. He just wanted to play, kind of test his deck out a little bit. And I recognized him. I didn't say anything. We didn't make a big deal out of it or anything, And I think, I'm not sure. I think I won. He was playing zombies, but that's like a prelude to about what I'm about to tell y'all, what ended up happening. And, so like I said, I didn't make day 2 this nationals and stuff. So day 2 we went up there and stuff, and actually 2 of my other friends didn't even make day 2. They were up here at this nationals also. Shay Kelly, you know, he was a guy I met out in Oklahoma that I became really cool with. And then Josh Jordan, you know, he was a local Texas duelist and stuff. And so the 2 of us, the 3 of us got together and we decided to play in a 3v3 team competition. You know, so going up into the last round, we undefeated. We like, yeah, can't nobody stop us. And we sit down to play. And it's the same dude that I played again. They, you know, wanted to test his deck and play earlier this week. And he was a Shonen Jump champion. I remember seeing him. I think he topped some other ones and stuff too. But his name is Trey Masongale. And I remember I recognized him and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, we're going to be all right. You know, I beat him early. I'll probably be able to beat him again. So we played. I lost. I did lose to him this time. And, you know, it's a team competition. All 3 of us are playing at the same time. You know, whoever's team gets the 2 wins, you know, and, you know, you go from there. So he had already got me. You know, I lost. And because it's a team competition, you can basically like coach or talk or, you know, whatever to do. Now, what really it seemed like it was us 3 versus Trey Masongale, because he basically like coached his teammates, you know, to victory and stuff. And like one of the craziest things that I heard him say is I want to say that Josh was on the right side of me and his opponent, you know, was playing windups and Josh activated Max C. And Trey looked over at him and he told him, he was like, hey, just keep going. You know, OTK him. And I was like, what? Did he just tell this boy just to keep going through Max C? And this boy kept going through the Max C thing and ended up OTKing and winning, I guess, because Josh didn't draw, you know, like something else to be able to stop him. So, yep, that's how that went down. We ended up, like I said, we didn't end up winning, but we took 3rd place. So I got this uncut sheet of Yu-Gi's here that you see with Hornet, who's I think about to become a good thing with this stuff that's coming out, and then, you know, Wind Up Rabbit. I hate that card. I should have burned this thing. But yeah, so that was the last big prize that I got to win, because shortly after this nationals I took a long break, and then I came back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Shortly after, you know, 2013, playing Bubble Beat, playing Heroes, and then like I said, Stratos got banned at that point, and then I played Fire Fist for a little bit. But the game, it just didn't feel the same to me without playing Heroes, because, you know, that's the deck that I love. Those are the cards, you know, that's what I like to play. And after they announced Pendulums, I was just like, okay, I'm just done with Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, I don't want to play anymore. So, yeah. And, you know, eventually on my channel, I want to share with y'all, you know, just different experiences and stuff that I had throughout my Yu-Gi-Oh! Career. Because like I said, I started playing like way back in 2003. So I have so many different things that happen, you know, stories that involve, you know, Philly Luna, Evan Vargas, Billy Break, you know, there's Kyle Bolin, you know, we used to, I was there when they were like little, you know, some of them used to travel with me and stuff, you know, get permission from them parents to drive out of town with me and everything and stuff. And there's a lot, there was some crazy things that happened during this time, you know, and like, I'm gonna share with y'all, you know, some of those stories and everything, things that y'all might not have heard of, things that they might even have forgot. And, you know, I just want to share some of that with y'all because, you know, I love this game. You know, I've been playing it forever. I love Heroes. I like to play. I like to compete. I like to travel. I like to help other people become better at the game also. And so I just hope y'all enjoy this profile. You know, check it out. It's really, really bad. I filmed it myself when I had no idea what I was doing on deck profiles and stuff. I just wanted to do it just because I felt like I had a good time with the Bubble Beat stuff. So I hope y'all enjoy this. Check it out, like, subscribe, and then prepare to hear some of my other stories and stuff in the future about different things that happen and everything. I appreciate y'all. Up YouTube, this your boy Timothy motherfucking Scott here, just doing a quick little deck profile of the deck that I ran at the locals tournament this weekend. It was my first real attempt at running a serious deck and playing seriously, thinking out most of the moves for the most part. I hadn't really played since nationals, and then there was a regional down in Houston a little bit after nationals, and I played in that one, and I decided to play with Bubble Beat. And I talked so bad about the Bubble Beat deck so bad, you know, because I thought it was really horrible after playing one in a team competition. And it just did really bad against my Hero Beat deck, but I decided to play it at the Houston Regional. I fell in love with it most of my matches were less than 10 to 15 minutes. I just played a real aggressive style. I didn't really think out my moves too much. I just wanted to see how many people I could OTK. I was hoping to get 7 OTKs by the end of the tournament, and I ended up with 6. I think in round 6 I played against a Dino Rabbit deck that I believe went undefeated. And at game 3 he had Gores, which stopped me from getting my 7th OTK, but I wasn't too mad about it. I beat every other deck. I started off 5-0. My other loss was to a hero deck because I went for game and he had Super Poly on me, and that ended up changing the tempo of the game, and he ended up winning. But other than that, I think I took 11th place, and I just really liked the deck, so I ran it at the locals. And I'm just trying to work on it. I'm probably going to take it down to Austin and see how it goes. If not that, then I'm going to try the Mass Hero version this week at my locals. But just a quick little deck profile. Of course, I played 3 Elemental Hero Neos aliases. You know, he's just that 1900 beater. Mostly I played him for, of course, the Gemini Spark and for the ability to bring out Elemental Hero the Shining. Of course, you got to have 3 Bubble Man. You know, he's the one that makes the whole deck possible. You know, just special summon him. At the local, I didn't get a chance to pull off that second effect of drawing 2 cards anytime. But believe it or not, during the regional, I pulled his effect off 4 times, and one of them ended up being a big game winner for me. So I really like this card a lot now. And then a star monster of the deck. I ran 3 of those Bubble Man, 1 Elemental Hero Stratos, making my 7th monster. Of course, you know, we all know that he's put at 1 just because of his effect, being able to search out those other heroes just makes him really good broken card. For my spell cards, ran 3 Miracle Fusions. Of course, you know, this is a big hero trump card, brings out the Shining, usually most of the time 2900 to 3200 attack. Great Tornado, half an attack of all their monsters on their side of the field, or 0 Elemental Hero 0 if you just need to clear their entire field. You know, this card's so versatile, it works really good. 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, just didn't want any trap cards standing in the way of my OTKs. I ran 2 Night Beams. I only ran 1 at the regional, but I was trying to play more aggressive. I wanted to play more aggressive in this tournament, so I included in another Night Beam. I ran 2 of these. It worked out really good for me, especially since I didn't know what to expect going against the Fire Fist decks and the Mermails and whatever else was new. Because like I said, I hadn't played against any of those decks yet, so I didn't really know what trap cards to expect or anything. It did me a lot of good, I believe, like especially against the Fire Fist deck, except there was one time where he chained one of those Fire Formation cards and then activated another one. And I think I messed up during that because I had Mystical Space Typhoon first, and I played Night Beam first instead of MST, so I learned something during that tournament that I need to play MST. If they have 2 or more, you know, go ahead and play the MST first and then play the Night Beam. 2 emergency calls, you know, gotta have it inside of this card. I ran 2 of Hero Lives. Yeah, half your life points is a lot, but most of the time, you know, it's gonna mean it's a game winner. This week, I'm probably gonna play 3 because I want to play the deck more aggressive, and I really want to make sure I hit my OTKs more. So probably go up to 3 of these. I only played 2 this week though. I played 2 Gemini Sparks. You know, before the tournament, there was another hero player there that I was talking to, and he was just like, why not run 3? And I felt like playing Bubble Beat, most of the time I'm going to go search for Bubble Man instead of Alias. I only searched for Alias when I had Gemini Spark. You know, and it's just like I hated having Gemini Sparks without Alias, and, you know, running 3 of them. I've been playing heroes for about 3 years now. Even when I played down in Houston, that's when I first decided to run 2 Gemini Sparks, and it's been working out better for me. I haven't had hands where I open up with 2 Gemini Sparks and 1 Alias and hope to draw Alias. You know, I've just been having 1 at a time, and it's working out really well for me. So I think the 3 Alias, 2 Sparks is what I'm going to be sticking with if I decide to continue to run Alias. I ran 2 Warriors Returning Alive, you know, just to bring back that Bubble Man for that 3rd summon. Ran 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, you know, just search out your hero. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. I love this card, especially when you reborn Stratos and go search for Bubble Man. Love it, love it. 1 copy of Heavy Storm, staple. 1 copy of Dark Hole, staple, you know. Ran 2 copies of Torrential Tribute. Before the tournament started, I was debating whether I should run double torrential or double mirror force, because like I said, I don't know too much about the format right now and what the different cards and effects do, but I was thinking like I would rather keep my monsters out on the field, and that's why I didn't want to run torrential. I would rather had ran mirror force, but not really knowing what to expect for this format, I went and decided to run 2 torrentials. I ran 3 copies of Call of the Haunted. This card is just great, you know. Just like it. It's another Reborn card, especially when you bring back Stratos and go search for Bubble Man, and then it allows for great numerous amounts of pushes and everything like that for game. 1 copy of Solemn Judgment. Love this card. You know, I'm known for doing first turn Solemn Judgments, like on that 1 Heavy Storm play. You know, I don't really care too much about my life points. Ran 2 copies of Starlight Road. Just didn't want anything standing in my way, and then there were a lot of times where I had to summon a Bubble Man a lot, you know, and in order to special summon them, you know, you have to set your entire hand. And a lot of times there were spell cards, useless trap cards that I probably couldn't use at the time, or spell cards like Miracle Fusion that I couldn't use right then and wanted to wait. So in order to keep from losing all those cards, I ran double Starlight Road. That way I just had no fear of setting my entire hand, even if I wasn't going to win the game that turn. 2 copies of Solemn Warning, absolute staple. I don't see no reason not to run 2 of them, even though I am running Solemn Judgment and Hero Lives. I think there was only 1 point in the tournament where I was like, I have a Solemn Warning and I don't have the life points to use it. And then, of course, 2 Bottomless Trap Holes. Just a really good card, pretty much a staple. I don't have all the cards from my extra deck, but basically the extra deck consisted mostly of the only cards that I really used from it were Elemental Hero the Shining. I think the only other Elemental Hero fusion that I used during the entire tournament was Elemental Hero Great Tornado at 1 point, but I think other than that, I don't remember using Zero or any of the other ones. This was a big player in all my tournament, in the whole tournament to me. It was number 16 Shockmaster. You see against the Mermaid deck that are too old, I did use this card and he just couldn't absolutely do anything because of the calling the monsters. Also, you know, the ability to lock down the spell cards and trap cards, you know, it's just a really good card. Now, before this tournament started, I didn't know about that 4-star Exceed monster, the new one, Abyss something. I still can't even remember his name. But, you know, like, just give me y'all comments and what y'all think. You know, would it be better for me to go into that Abyss monster, you know, for his ability to use it 2 turns, or for Shockmaster? Because I really feel like Shockmaster would be the best choice if I could get 3 of them out, but I guess the one that requires 2, the Abyss XYZ, is still a good choice, you know, if I can't bring out 3 of them to bring out Shockmaster. Another big player in the tournament that I had, I didn't use Blade Armor as much as I thought I would do, but I did use Excalibur a lot. You know, I guess it was just that big 4,000 attack was really good. I've been studying the Japanese decks, and I noticed that they weren't really running Blade Armor Ninja anymore. They were using 2 copies of Heroic Champion Excalibur, and during the tournament I was still thinking about that, and I realized that they were doing it because of the Fire Fist deck. You know, they have that big card that raises them up 700 and then an additional 300, and you know, you notice in the Fire Fist deck that I played against, I did use Excalibur. You know, that 4,000 attack was just really big. I can't really think of any XYZ monsters that I used besides this. I didn't use Maestro most of the time. It was just Blade Armor Ninja a couple of times, I believe. Mostly Excalibur. You know, but you can see the duels from them. I really like the deck. I'm probably gonna run the Mass Hero version this Thursday, coming up Thursday, and I'll see how that runs. Let me know what y'all think of the deck, any improvements I can make, if there are any XYZ monsters that I need to add to my extra deck, because I haven't really looked into too many of them. I think one of them I need to add is the number 50 Black Corn Ship. Not too sure, but yeah, I think I need to add that one. And no, other than that, just let me know what y'all think. All right, thank you. It's your boy Timothy motherfucking Scott, and I'm out.